And the Supreme Court this week allowed the Biden administration to enforce regulations on ghost guns, firearm-making kits available online that people can make at home. Welcome back to Capitol Review. I'm Thasmeen Mahfouz, and our Mark Hall talks with Zach Schonfeld with our media partners at The Hill. Take a look.
Well, Zach, welcome back to Capitol Review. Talk about this new decision that came from a divided Supreme Court.
Well, the Supreme Court is out for the summer after it finished up at the end of June with its big rulings on student debt and affirmative action and the like. But even though the justices are gone for the summer, they're continuing to get requests like this on what's called their emergency docket. So in this case, over ghost guns, there was no oral argument or extensive briefing. This was a case that came in and out of the Supreme Court in a matter of days. And what the Supreme Court did is effectively revived the Biden administration's regulations surrounding ghost guns. Now, ghost guns are a relatively new phenomenon that have really only started to pop up in the last few years, and the Biden administration has tried to regulate them. These are do-it-yourself type kits that people can purchase and then put together and form effectively a fully loaded firearm. And the Biden administration had seen other federal requirements that were placed on other firearms, but not to these ghost guns because they're sold in kits and parts. And effectively, their regulation extended those same requirements about background checks and serial numbers to these so-called ghost guns. Lower courts had said that the Biden administration had exceeded its authority, so the Justice Department had appealed all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 ruling, for now, reviving those regulations as the administration's appeal continues. So for now, those ghost gun regulations are on the books, but that's not to say that it won't be that way for permanent.
All right, Zach, well, this rule clarifies that ghost guns fit within the definition of a firearm under federal law. What does that mean when it comes to the Second Amendment?
So this case actually doesn't implicate the Second Amendment itself. That's opposed to some of the other gun cases that we've seen come through the Supreme Court. But this really comes down to questions of administrative law. And that is when an executive agency, in this case, the ATF, was interpreting a decades-old firearm law stretching back to 1968. That law had terms. It said that if it is a firearm or a frame or receiver, those types of items have to fall under all of these different regulations, as I was talking about earlier, the serial numbers, the background checks. And so the actual legal question in this case came down to when the Biden administration last year attempted to expand those requirements to these ghost guns, were these kits and were these DIY parts, could they actually fit into these umbrella definitions from that federal law of firearm and frame or receiver? A federal Republican-appointed federal judge in Texas had said no, that the Biden administration stretched those two umbrella terms too far, and that these so-called ghost guns did not fit under those umbrella terms of firearms and frame and receiver. So it is actually quite, from legally speaking, a bit of a different case from some of the ones that we've seen come to the Supreme Court in recent years. In this case, no one is questioning the actual constitutionality of that federal firearm law. That's not to say someone won't in the future, but this case really comes down to straightforward statutory interpretation.
Zach, what kind of pushback can we expect, and what can we expect to see happen next?
Well, this is a temporary win for the Biden administration and gun control advocates and groups that have been pushing for tougher regulations. But as this case continues through the courts, it's not set in stone that necessarily that this will be the final ruling. And that's because this came to the Supreme Court, as I was saying earlier, in an emergency posture. This was just a quick ruling where they have said, as the administration continues its appeal in a lower court of that original ruling, the regulations can remain on the books. So what happens next? It comes back to the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. This is one of the most conservative court of appeals in the country. They are scheduled to hear oral arguments in this case next month in September, just after Labor Day. After that, the appeals court sometime thereafter will issue a ruling. And then the case could come back to the Supreme Court. And when it comes back to the Supreme Court at that point, it would follow the normal procedure that we're used to in some of these other big cases like student debt, where there's going to be extensive briefing. Lawyers will actually come to the Supreme Court in person and have oral argument before the justices. And it might follow that track that we're used to. But for now, this is just a temporary ruling from the Supreme Court. And we also know that when the Supreme Court does issue these types of emergency rulings, it doesn't always indicate how they would rule if the case does come back. Just to give you one recent example, there was a big Alabama redistricting case recently at the Supreme Court. It, like this case, first came to the court on an emergency basis, and the Supreme Court paused a lower ruling. And then when it came back for the full appeal on the merits, the Supreme Court went the other way and affirmed the lower court ruling. So just because we have a temporary win now for the Biden administration, I don't think that necessarily means that the Supreme Court will rule the same way down the road.
Zach, thanks for joining us on Capitol Review.